Can we tuned in? Yeah. Can we tuned in? Yeah. Ha.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kemi, and I'm here to talk about Beyond the Gates Season 2, Episode 123. Now, before we begin, make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and turning on your post notifications so you'll know whenever I post. All right, so we start the episode off with Madison checking on Bill. Haley is spiraling. Naomi takes her into the hallway to let Madison do her job. Haley plays the grief-stricken wife, and she stops Naomi from chewing her out, and they hug as she again is smirking. So we see Nicole. She visits Anita, and then she finds out that Kat has moved out. We see Chelsea, we see Kat come into Chelsea's place, and Chelsea apologizes to Kat for suggesting they use Kat's experience to sell bags. Kat says it's cool. Then Chelsea proceeds to ask her, instead of using your experience to sell bags, let's use your experience to go on social media. Okay, Chelsea. Dani comes home. Andre hides the computer from her. She wants to know what he was looking at. He tries to change the subject, but she won't budge. She takes the computer and she starts to look at what he's looking at. We go back to Bill, and they're at the office, but they haven't got to the hospital yet. They're still at the office. So we go back to the Naomi and Haley. They're back in asking Bill how he's doing. Madison is telling them that he needs to go to the hospital, but he doesn't want to. Um, um, yeah, but he doesn't want to. So we go back to Chelsea giving Kat the spill on why she thinks she should go to social media. Kat knows it's a good cause, but she doesn't want to be the poster child of this, basically. So we go back to Dani and Andre. He was looking at a feature on models that had mastectomies, and he's trying to show Dani that she could still model even if she does get double mastectomy. She can do it with. She can get implants. Like, she could still be a model. That's basically what he was what he was looking into to see how he could broach it to her or whatever. She says the pictures are beautiful and unique. Dani isn't here for it. She makes a dig because he says that, I'm thinking about talking to his Uncle Ted and Carlton, and maybe start taking pictures of people that have gone through this as well or whatever. And she makes a dig at him saying, oh, so you're gonna steal another photographer's work or whatever. And he was just like, no, I like to empower people with my photos. um but she says, you weren't looking at those photos for me, you were looking at them for me. And he needs to stop. So we go back to Nicole and Anita. She didn't know about um, Kat moving, of course. They tell her how fast it happened. Nicole doesn't understand, since Kat didn't want to live on her own before, and that's the reason why she moved in with Anita and Vernon. Anita thinks there's more to it, but she didn't want to pry. Vernon mentions that she didn't say anything about Tomas, and so they think that he may have rejected her or something like that. And Anita says, or they could be moving in together, but they didn't, she didn't say anything. And Nicole says, well, she probably didn't say anything because I couldn't hide my relief at her saying no to the proposal. And it's just like, girl, she ain't say nothing to you, period. So it's not like she ain't say because she was one way or the other. She just didn't tell you, period, because clearly y'all don't have that type of relationship. I don't know. But she says she'll find out for herself, so she leaves to go and talk to Kat. So we see Kat. She's getting ready to leave because she ain't trying to be the poster child for this. What Chelsea's trying to do. And again, I don't know why Chelsea even asked her after you literally just apologized to her for trying to use her story to sell bags. But okay. So Kat tells her, you can do whatever you want to do, just keep my name out of it. Chelsea says she can talk about it, but it won't make a difference if there's not a face to it. But if she and Eva tell their story, it could make a difference. Eva would have passed if she hadn't donated. Kat knows the choices she made for her dad's sake. She didn't do it to make it her cause or her identity or to be publicly tied to publicly associated with Eva. Kat wants to put all of this behind her and don't ask her to do something that she's uncomfortable with. Chelsea understands. Kat says she can reach out to Eva to get her side of the story, but to leave her out of it. Chelsea says, "Are you sure you're not going to talk smack about me behind my back?" Kat says, "No, I'm going to talk it to your face." Chelsea gets a message from Naomi about Bill, and Kat tells her to go. She'll handle the meeting that Chelsea was supposed to be doing. So we go back to Dani and Andre. They're still arguing about her choice. She doesn't want him to change how he views her. And I will say in this scene, she was drinking a Clearly Canadian. That's my favorite drink. I love me a Clearly Canadian. But anyways, I was just shocked to see that on the show. I was just like, okay, look at y'all. Look at y'all. Okay. So he tells her that he's not going to change the way he views her. She says, "Well, then why haven't you touched me since you came in?" He tells her, "Because we arguing. What you mean? Like, what you mean?" Then they start kissing and making out, and then her phone rings. It's Naomi telling her about Bill. Dani tells her to keep her posted. Naomi is shocked that she isn't coming to the hospital. Andre asks if everything's all right. She tells him, and he asks her if she needs to go, and she says no. And then they start making out. So we see Nicole. She's finally with Kat. Kat tells her about Bill. We see Chelsea. She's at the hospital. And Madison and Naomi tell her what happened and that the test will be back soon. So we see Haley. She's playing the dutiful wife, of course, while she's in the room with him. She's acting worried about Bill and hoping that he'll be better and he needs to follow the doctor's orders. So we go to Dani and Andre, and they're in bed, and she's rushing things. He tells her to chill. She turns it on him and says that, he isn't into it. And he says, "Well, maybe you're more affected by the pics than oh no." She tells him he's not into it, and maybe he's more affected by the pics, by the pictures that he was just looking at. He says that isn't it, and she's more bothered than she let on. And she's using sex as a distraction. It's not gonna work this time. She says that's what we've always been. For once in a while, sorry. She says that's what we've always been. You've been my once in a while man to help me clear my mind, and the phrase is going to have a different meaning if you're rejecting me. He tells her, "I'm not rejecting you," and he's just like, "What's going on?" And she makes a dig at him. He tells her, it's about Bill anyway. She gets upset. She isn't thinking about Bill when she's in bed with him. Dani, why you lying? And he tells her that's the whole point. Sex with him was her way of helping her not was there. Sex with him was his way. Sex with him was her way of not thinking about Bill. And it's happening right now. And it's not going to happen right now. Basically, it's not fulfilling its purpose anymore. We go back to the hospital. The girls come in. They're visiting Bill. Chelsea tries to get him to hand the case over to Naomi. He doesn't want to do that. Madison comes back. The scans are back. They can't figure it out, but it's not what it was before. She wants to run more tests. He's fine with it. Yeah, so he's fine with it so that it can put his loved ones at ease. We go back to Andre and Dani. Andre is saying he could take her to the hospital if she wants to. She says no, his wife is there. She's concentrated on him. He likes that he's staying there for him, but if there's a disconnect, she's trying too hard. she doesn't believe him, and she isn't going to apologize if that's the way that they connect. Um, it's who they have always been, and it's why they're together. He says that's how we started, but it's not what connects them now. She doesn't want him to see her as a future big C patient. He wants to know if he wants to know what he can do, what he can say to make her believe that he doesn't see her that way. She says it's not what you do, it's your actions or lack thereof are speaking louder right now. She tells him that he needs to prove it to her. So we go to Nicole and Kat, and they're talking about her buying a condo. What's her name? Nicole. Sorry. Nicole congratulates her on getting it. Kat says it was time. Nicole wants to know what changed. Kat tells her it was her. She told her to compromise to make her relationship work. Nicole says if asked her if Tomas told her to do this, she says no. When she turned down the proposal, she felt like she needed to do something big. Nicole wants to know how buying the condo helps them. Kat says she's meeting him halfway by getting a place that they can live together. We see Vernon. He's on the phone with one of his former colleagues. She's in town and she wants to take them out to dinner. She's trying to woo him to come and work for her, to be her chief strategy officer, because the one she had resigned, and Vernon can help with because she runs like a political firm for um, candidates or whatever, so he can help mold them or whatever. um Vernon Anita says, it sounds demanding. Vernon tells her no. The lady says she'll work with however she can get him. And Anita says it's a wonderful opportunity, so he goes to call the lady back. So we go back to Nicole and Kat, and Nicole is asking Kat questions about about the whole buying a condo, her and Tomas. She tells her that no is a complete sentence that doesn't need to be followed up with anything else. She tells her she has a huge heart and she means well, and these types of decisions shouldn't be made under this kind of pressure. Kat says like donating a liver to someone who hates me. Nicole says it's not the same. I mean, it's not, but at the same time, Kat tells her Tomas wasn't overjoyed at the thought of moving in together anyway, so it's moot. Haley is trying to bond with the girls, and Chelsea isn't having it. Haley doesn't know what she would do if she lost Bill. Chelsea says what? She says what? You'll take his money and run. Haley says it'll be hard on her, and Chelsea is just like, oh, just you. Naomi tries to play peacemaker. Haley again plays up the grief-stricken wife, and Chelsea again isn't having it. She tells her next time try stealing someone younger next time. Haley says you're just like your mama, and she says yeah, and when she gets here we're gonna tag team you. I love it. Oh, how I love it, but I also hate it at the same time, because it's just like I need Dani to stay away, but it's understandable. She was with that man forever and a day, so it is what it is. Haley is pissed that they called Dani, and then she walks off. So we go back to Andre and Dani, and he's telling her he can't believe that he's telling her that he can't believe that she thinks that he isn't attracted to her. She says why she feels that way. He tells her he'll always desire her, and they talk about her making an informed decision on the BRCA gene, and he tells her he loves her, and whatever will keep her here, whatever will keep her here longer, and he hopes she will look into it. We go back to Kat and Nicole. Kat tells Nicole about Tomas having doubts moving in, and Nicole gives her advice, and she tells her she's going to be there for her. So we go back to the hospital. Madison tells them that she didn't find anything. He didn't have a stroke. She isn't sure what it is. Haley wants to know when they're free to leave. Madison isn't discharging him yet. She wants to get a full workup. She mentions his problem, what happened, what he had earlier or whatever earlier this year. They talk about making changes and thinking that it went away. Madison tells him maybe not. He understands and they're going to wait. We go back to Dani and Andre. Um, she talks about him feeling the way he feels because of his parents, and she wants to bury her head in the sand. He understands and wants to keep everyone at, and wants to keep to their vows, and then they cuddle in the bed. So that was the episode. Yeah, that was the episode. Make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and turning on your post notifications so you'll know whenever I post. Get down in the comments, tell me what you guys thought of this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one.